Hey everybody, thanks for watching and welcome to Poe Outdoors. If you're a first-time viewer, I hope you appreciate the content and decide to stick around. If you are a long-time viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for that ongoing support and putting up with me. At the Poe Homestead today, I have a speed test, and it is going to be with the brand new, just released Bowtech Revolt XL. Now, this is the long draw model for Bowtech this year in 2022. And as a guy who's 6'3", broad-shouldered, long arms, who has shot bows that have been too small for him for a long time, I was pumped to test this offering from Bowtech. In fact, I'll just disclose this right now, guys. I loved it so much, I bought the demo model because I didn't want to wait until the end of February. So this one was right off the rack and I brought it home with me, and I couldn't be happier, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run 8 different arrows through the chronograph, and it's not gonna be a full review today. I wanna get more arrows through this bow before I do a full review and give you guys my thoughts on the pros, cons, and what I think of it. So the 8 arrow weights are gonna be as follows: 376 grains, 402 grains, 432, 466, 491, 519, 538, and 570. Now I'm going to shoot each one of those 3 times in performance on 28 inches, 31.5 inches, which is where I am right now, and I'm going to max it out at 33. All are going to be in performance, okay? And then I'll look at the numbers and you can subtract whatever the difference is typically between performance and comfort, and it's usually around that 8 feet per second mark. So we'll look at it once we get some numbers, and then we can go from there. Now what I'm also going to do is the speed results. I'm going to put them on the screen at the end of the video so you guys can screenshot it, print it out, whatever you want to do, and you can take a good look at the data and decide if this bow is right for you based on your draw weight and which this will be all at 70 pounds, by the way, your draw weight, your draw length, etc. Okay? Again, this isn't a full review. It's just a speed test for today. I've got to get some more arrows through the Revolt XL before I tell you guys exactly what I think of it. Obviously, I liked it enough to buy it off the rack, but I want to see how it holds up over the long term, the more arrows I get through it, and then share that information with you guys, all right? So let's get down to the chronograph, run some arrows through it, and then we'll crunch the numbers afterwards. 291, 283, 273, 264, 258, 250, 247, 239, 324, 316, 304, 293, 286, 279, 274, 266, 312, 304, 298, 284. All the arrows have been run through the chronograph, and it's time to take a look at some numbers. Again, I will post these at the end of the video for you all to take a look at, screenshot, keep, whatever you want to do. But before I go over a couple of key points, here are 2 notes. Number 1, I only could shoot 4 arrows at the 33-inch draw length because I didn't even think about it until I got ready to shoot it, that I didn't have enough arrows long enough. In fact, I only had 1 full-length 32-inch arrow, and I changed out the tips and the nocks just to get 4 different weights out of that. So I apologize. Not something I've ever done to shoot a 33-inch bow, so I don't have arrows made for that draw length. Number two is I only showed you one arrow weight, one shot per arrow weight. And the reason is it would have been redundant to show all three, but the numbers I got was an average of 3 arrows through the chronograph. And I just wanted to show you guys one shot so you knew I did in fact do the testing. The 28-inch draw actually impressed me. It did far better than I thought it would for being a long draw bow. In fact, guys, looking through this, we averaged 240 feet per second at 28 inches, 70 pounds with a 570 grain arrow. Now, coming from an era that I did where we shot 180 foot per second bows, 11 grains per inch aluminum XX75 arrows, 135 to 150 grain heads. We got pass-throughs, by the way, whole different video. There are no slow modern day bows, so sometimes we get so caught up on speed, and I know it matters, especially in a hunting bow as far as generating energy and momentum, but sometimes we get too hung up on it and we don't think about the other attributes of the great bows that are on the market. Draw cycle, stability, accuracy, etc. But at 28 inches, this thing really shocked me. In fact, if we go over at 28 inches, we'll just go between 400 and 500 grains. A 402 grain arrow hit 283, 432 at 273, 466 was at 264, 491 was at 258. Guys, those are respectable numbers and easily enough speed to kill a white-tailed deer. Generated 71.4 foot-pounds of energy to 72.5, 0.5 slugs up to 0.562 slugs, and that's at 28 inches. Now, the one thing I would caution against when you get in energy levels in the 0.7 range is you're going to use up close to half of that just to deploy a mechanical head. So that's not to bash the heads, it's just reality. And manufacturers will tell you it takes a certain amount of energy to deploy the blades. After that, you need energy to penetrate. So a cut on contact head would be advised for energies at that level. Now, if we jump all the way to the other end at 33 inches, we got some good speeds. 443 grain arrow was at 312, 468 was at 304, 491 grain arrow was at 298, 540 2 grain arrow was at 284, generating 95.5 foot-pounds up to 97, 0.61 slugs to 0.683. Now you put a couple more twists in the cable and get that weight up there to about 71, 72 pounds at 33 inches. You've got a bow you can hunt anything in the world with without question, especially with a good, heavy, fixed blade head. You're hunting any of the large game, even dangerous things in Africa there, if it's legal to hunt under 80 pounds. I don't know if it is. My point is the bow generates plenty of energy for that. Now at my draw weight right now, or my draw length I should say, all these were 70 pounds. My draw length is at 31.5. I played around at 32. I felt too stretched out. So 31.5 is where I feel really comfortable. 3 arrow weights that I hunt whitetail deer with. 519 grains was 279. 538 grains, 274. 570 was 267. And that was 89.6 to 90 foot-pounds. 0.642 slugs up to 675. That made me really, really happy with my decision to buy this bow. I bought it for the performance, actually we'll talk performance in a second. The draw cycle and the hold and the stability and the deadness in the hand and the accuracy since I've gotten it home and have it sighted in and have shot it is just off the charts. Speaking of performance, I have never drawn a bow that's better, a Bowtech, that's better in performance than this one. I hated it in my reins, or my rein and my 2 realms. Hated performance, never even thought about hunting with it. But I would actually take this XL and I would crank that weight up to 71 or 72 pounds and I will be hunting with it in performance. And I have no doubt that after 3 or 4 hours on stand in the 20s, I would have no problem pulling that bow whatsoever to get a shot on a whitetail, okay? But guys, just to touch on that really quick again, the 28 performed better than I thought it would. I'm really pleased at my draw length. Obviously out there at 33 inches, you got a force curve that's ridiculous, all right? So I'm not going to keep going on and on. Those are the numbers. They're going to be posted here on the screen in just a little bit. If you have any questions I did not address in the video, please feel free to ask. If it's going to be specific to a review that's coming up, though, I probably won't answer, as I want to make sure I cover that in a review. But if you want to ask something you want to see in a review, go ahead and post that in the comments, and I will do my best to accommodate. If you haven't liked the video or subscribed to the channel, please do. We appreciate the support. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Thanks for watching.